this is my TED Talk. Today we're going to be talking about the effects of comparison on teenagers. Who are we? What are we here for? Everyone is born with a purpose, no matter if you were in an accident like me or if your parents planned you. You may not be born into an ideal situation, but that's okay because everyone has their struggles. One thing I personally think is wrong with society is the amount that we compare ourselves to others. No matter what you do or where you look, you can always see someone contemplating a decision and probably thinking, well, that person did it, so I should do it too, right? No, that is not the right way to think. What is comparison? Comparison is when two things are being weighted against each other, and that is very common in teenage and adult minds today. We all compare ourselves to others, especially our peers. We want to know how she's doing, what he's doing, what she did, what he did, what he has, what she has, and on and on. This is known as internal peer pressure. When you really think about that statement, you begin to see how true it is, how true you might feel about how someone treats you and how you treat them back. But thinking about what other people has is one of the most damaging things to possibly do, and yet it's the number one resort for every single one of us. If I'm ever trying to worm myself out of something bad, I'll immediately say, well, literally everybody else was doing so much worse, and I'll start comparing myself to someone in something that did worse. And I try and make myself seem better by reassuring myself with confidence, but that's not how it should be. Comparing yourself constantly to people who have it better than you or people who do things better than you is a never-ending cycle. And literally, if you think someone has it better than you, they're probably thinking about someone else or even you, and they think you have it better than them. And they think their life sucks, but you think the same thing. Being constantly burdened by comparing ourselves to other people is something I find very, very hard to overcome. And when it all comes down to it, there's no way to win. Don't focus on trying to be better than your parents, because that's all I do. Because my parents are Olympic champions, and I'm over here, still just going to nationals? That's what I'm talking about. I can make myself feel bad about how I'm living my life and comparing it to my whole family who are all better than me. But that's only going to bring me down, and that's only going to make me feel worse about myself. If I think about the good stuff, I will be happy. But if I don't, then my life is just going to be as sad as any other person that's sitting here doing the exact same thing I'm doing. Try and focus more on yourself. Focus on people around you and try to put light in their life. Don't compare what you have to what they have. Don't compare how they act to how you act. Just enjoy them for what they are and enjoy yourself for all that you do. Can we yearn ourselves from social comparison? It's easier said than done. Some psychologists, most notably Leon Festinger, believe that our desire to compare ourselves to others is a drive, one almost as powerful as thirst or hunger. While comparison can be informative, they're also almost always discouraging. My mother was not a social psychologist, but she knew that the desire to top others was an exercise of futility. A better way to figure out how am I doing might be to compare ourselves to where we were in the past, or where we want to be in the future. This process, called temporal comparison, is less well known than Festinger's social comparison theory. But there are good reasons why we should rely on temporal rather than social comparisons when taking stock of our lives. Another thing I struggle with is my parents comparing me to every single person alive. Very often my parents compare me to my older sister. She's 18 years older than me, she has a family, she has a husband, she has 5 kids. When she was my age, she was significantly better at swimming than me, and she went to an amazing college where she got a full ride, and she ended up going to World Championships for Russia. Now I am compared to my twin sister, who is going to the Paralympics for swimming. And as much as I'm super happy for all of them, I do find jealousy inside of myself for them. Even though I might not be the worst swimmer, I'm definitely not the best. And that's hard. Also, they love to compare me to my cousin, who is also the same age as me. And she's a straight A student. She takes a little bit of harder classes than me. But the thing is, we all have different mindsets. We all talk about and think about different ideas. I sit here and I compare myself to everyone around me. My parents definitely do not do that because they have all the confidence in the world. I understand how unhealthy this is for me, and this is what I'm here to tell you. Don't compare yourself to others because it's dangerous. It gets you into a feeling that will make you want to never leave your house, never talk to another person again, never show up to school, never show up to practice, never go out on social events, never just be open and honest and just true. You compare yourself to others, how people act at your school, and you want to act like them. You look at the social hierarchies at your school, or our school especially, and you see how if you're not cool, you're not anyone. If you're not a jock, then nobody knows who you are. That's wrong. You are yourself. Do not compare yourself to others. Be yourself. Let everybody see the real you. Don't allow people to judge you based on what you want to be. Let them judge you based on who you are. According to beingminimalist.com, we compare our worst selves that we know to the best that we know in others, which is very bad because our worst is our worst. And if we compare our best to others, it may be better. And it may not make us feel as bad as we do about ourselves. Comparison also by definition fools you because it makes you believe that everything that you do good is counted. Comparison is actually a waste of time. There are 86,400 seconds in each day, and we waste them comparing ourselves to others instead of bettering ourselves. Everyone is unique, and everyone has their own traits that cannot be compared to others. When comparing yourselves to others, you have things to lose, like your pride, your dignity, and passion. Comparing yourselves to others really just doesn't help you focus on the right person. You should be focusing on you and your mental health and not worrying about others or what they're wearing or what they're doing. Comparison is also a huge trigger to teenage depression. When teenagers compare themselves to others, they end up envying someone, which causes a lot of stress and leads to depression. One quote that I find that is very unique to this topic is, "Comparison is a thief of joy," by Theodore Roosevelt. Comparison is also very popular because it is portrayed in a lot of movies and TV shows, which, when shown to young kids, influence them for their future lives. In conclusion, just think about this. A flower doesn't think about who it's competing with. It just blooms. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. My mother was not a social psychologist. Being constantly burdened by comparing ourselves to others is something heated and on and on. This is known as internal struggles. I want to die. Everyone is burdened. We all think to ourselves,